Hello and welcome. I am Simona Mainini with Feng Shui for Architecture, and I would like to invite you to our upcoming beginning course 1 of our Feng Shui for Architecture Interior Design and Landscape Certification Program. Our program is going to start on April 15, 2023. It's a 3-course program. The beginning one is going to be in the spring, and then in early summer we're going to be the intermediate class, and then the advanced class is going to be in the fall. And by the end of that class, I will deliver to all participants who have also completed the assignments, which actually are a lot of fun. They will be receiving the certification of completion from our school. So if you're interested in learning Feng Shui on a professional level, please join us all on April 15 at 10 a.m. is a Saturday morning. It's a 3-hour class, so from 10 to 1 p.m. And I'm going to leave you the information for registering down here below, at the box here below, and at the end of this video. The video is not interactive, so you cannot click on it. But the link down below it is, so you can click there and it will take you directly on the registration page or on our website, so you can read more about the curriculum and so on and so forth. So as I mentioned, our course, our program is divided in 3 courses, and I want to answer to some questions. I received email, people asking questions, so I want to clarify them here for you all, for all of you. So the first thing people ask me is, what kind of Feng Shui do I teach? And the only Feng Shui that I really know is the one that I was trained by my godfather, my Chinese godfather, and his traditional Chinese Feng Shui. Feng Shui in the past 20 years become very popular. There are many forms of Feng Shui, which are mostly simplified Feng Shui. And they're easy to learn. In one weekend, people learn it and they go out there and call themselves Feng Shui expert. But actually, it's really not that easy, because classical Feng Shui really encompasses a lot of knowledge that mostly have to do with the natural world and the relationship of the earth with the sun, the seasons, and our buildings. The energy of our building encompasses a lot of it. And so classical traditional Feng Shui is much more comprehensive. And just to give you an idea on the timeline, classical traditional Feng Shui derives from the I Ching. And the I Ching in the forms that we know it today, with the sentence and the commentaries of the Duke of Zhou, the sentence of King Wu and the commentary of the Duke of Zhou was actually written by the founder of the Zhou dynasty, which was about 1500, more or less, 1500 BC. So we're talking about 3,500 years ago. And that knowledge was already pretty consolidated. And so we really do not know where the original knowledge developed. We only know that the I Ching is organizing with a system of binary mathematics, that we know for sure. So 3,500 years ago, they already knew binary mathematics. You do the math. You do the math. Anyway, so it's called classical traditional Feng Shui for that reason. And then from there are multiple techniques and applications that were developed, and we're going to study those that are really most directly related to the classics and their application to our modern world, which surprisingly and amazingly, I must say, this is something that I clarified for myself while I was studying. They do really apply quite a bit to our modern lifestyle. And I think the reason is why after 3,500 years they're still relevant is because they're based on the natural world and the laws of nature. So our system is not just classical and traditional and super tested, is also very scientific. It's based on really solid scientific principles. So it's not only scientific because it's based on the laws of nature, it's because these laws of nature are actually based on physics. Physics is actually what the laws of nature are. So thermodynamic, electromagnetism, they're all really explained in a strange ways through yin and yang and 5 elements, but it comes pretty much down to that. And so that's what we do. We do not pray. We do not burn incense to deities. We do not chant, and there is nothing wrong with doing that. So if you're a spiritual person, if you're a religious person, all my respects to it, but this is not what classical Feng Shui does. Classical Feng Shui really understand the relationship between our built environment and our physical bodies. In fact, the basic theory of Feng Shui, like the yin and yang and the 5 elements and the 8 triagrams, are really based on the understanding of the physical human body and its interaction with nature. In fact, those same techniques, yin and yang and 5 elements, are the same that we also have in traditional Chinese medicine, and that they are used very actively to make diagnosis and to make treatments for various illnesses. And the way they are applied objectively is very different. I did take 3 years of Chinese medicine, so I learned a little bit more how the body is also affected, or how the application of this metaphysical theories applies to medicine. And I really did those 3 years, pretty intensive 3 years, because I wanted to understand how the qi affect the human body and better understand how bridge together that knowledge with Feng Shui and how to use Feng Shui for health and well-being, because health and well-being is not just the absence of illness. Health and well-being is also the ability of fulfilling your destiny and your potential and manifesting all that you are. In fact, one other fascinating things, for example, in Chinese metaphysics, our purpose in life is to manifest the potential that we are given at birth, and that potential that we are given at birth comes from the Jing and the life force energy that we were given at the moment of birth. So that could simply be our genetics, could be our natural talents, like I guess my talent maybe was for Chinese metaphysics or for architecture. For other people, talent might be being able to sing very naturally, or playing an instrument, or perhaps, I don't know, writing beautiful literature or beautiful poetry, which I'm really not that great at. But you know, everybody has a potential to fulfill, and so this potential becomes our destiny and our fate, really. And the way to fulfill that is by having perfect health, or as good as possible health and wellness, and having a good Feng Shui house that allows you to manifest that potential, and being successful in manifesting that potential, whether you make a lot of money or not, is what Feng Shui is really all about. And so, as I said, this has nothing to do with religion, and you can have any religious you want or have no religion, but you can still use Feng Shui and make it work for you. Also, the last things that I wanted to share with you is the fact that our lineage actually, our Feng Shui actually comes from a lineage. And lineage means it's passed down from master to students. Every generation passed it down. And the advantages of this is that in passing it down, the master also shares his own personal experience. And why am I saying that? Is because in Feng Shui, there are many applications. Even in classical Feng Shui, there are different applications. Some have to do with somebody's date of birth and how the energy of this person affects what they do and how it relates with certain direction. Another application maybe has to do with the energy of the building and what a building is good for, and what area of the building are good for what. And so when you put this together, sometime it might appear that this technique might be in conflict with each other, because maybe one tells you, okay, this direction is best for you, and the other tells you, okay, so that direction based on that year of construction is really a bad direction. So people would be like, okay, which one do I choose? Which one is priority? And so that's what we learn. That's why my classes are longer, because I go into the details. And then not only I go into the details, but also I teach you how to prioritize. And the only way that I can do that is in being able to show you case study, allow you to practice in your own case study and come back and ask questions. And so that's why my classes are a little bit longer. They're not just one weekend, because I know that maybe in one weekend, it will take me longer anyway, but maybe in 1 week I can give you a bunch of theories. But then by the end of it, if you cannot ask me question and you cannot do any case study, it will come out from one ear and go out from the other. So I want to be able, I really value your interest in the discipline, just like I really value my interest in this discipline. And I was lucky enough to find a good teacher. And so I really would like to teach other people that are interested in this discipline like I was. I want to allow them the possibility of learning this knowledge. Even though my teacher is not allowed any longer is not around any longer to teach, then I would like to do that and provide you with that knowledge. Also, I want to share with you that I work with a translator of classic Chinese, ancient Chinese books in reading some of the classics texts of our lineage. And I can see why having a master that helps you decipher them is useful, because even with 25 years experience like I have, and knowing what I know, every single page was really hard to translate. Even though the person that I was working with is well versed in ancient Chinese feng shui, in ancient Chinese text, and I'm very well versed in feng shui, it really took the two of us putting our heads together to decipher, because these books are really not organized like our modern books, where you have a nice table of contents and everything is divided in chapter and paragraph and bullet point. These are just like running sentences. They look more like personal notes of a master, maybe something that he writes down so he won't forget, maybe so he can go back and read it, what he read, what he wrote a while back, so he wouldn't forget. They're not really designed as textbook. They're more like the notes that I put down when I'm about to teach a new class, and I want to make sure that I include all those topics and don't forget any. So that looks like more something like that. There will be like one key sentence that makes sense of that entire chapter. I'm going to call it chapter. It's not quite a chapter. They're more like a series of essay, but there is like a key sentence that makes sense of the entire system, but you do not know which one it is unless you have a lot of experience. So you read that and you're like, no, it doesn't mean that. It means something else. So anyway, I share maybe more than I should, but they're really, really complicated books. So you really do need somebody to walk you through them. And of course, I've incorporated, if I learn anything else that I didn't know before, I've incorporated all of that into my classes. And so when I teach every individual topic every week, I also include my own experience, and I include also what the classic says. And generally, I'm a little bit academically punctual in that, where I'm saying, okay, this is what the book says, this is what my teacher used to say, but this is what I've seen on my own. So I would make those distinctions, just to be clear. So anyway, maybe this is a little bit more than I intended to share today, but I think you will find it funny. I find it very interesting, and I hope you will find it interesting too. So having said that, I am looking forward to see you in our beginning one course on April 15. I also just want to quickly add that our school, actually our Feng Shui Training Center, offers 3 certification programs. And the one that I was describing here, the Feng Shui for Interior Design, for architecture, interior design, and landscape is the first level 1, and is the foundation for everything. And then we have a level 2, which is professional Feng Shui consultant. And then we have a level 3 Feng Shui master, which also includes a Feng Shui practicum where you can discuss your case study with me and get some feedback. And so those are 3 separate levels, and there is a certificate for each of these levels. Each level is comprised of multiple courses. The level 1 here has 3 courses, beginning, intermediate, and advanced. The professional consultant has 4 courses of 6 weeks each, and the master level has also 4 courses of 6 weeks each, plus the practicum. And so you can go as far as you want if you want to learn a lot. We go more in details, and we add material as we progress, more advanced material. But if you are an architect or a designer and you would like to learn a little bit more Feng Shui to incorporate with your services, this level 1 probably is sufficient for you, will be sufficient for you, is going to give you information enough for that. Level 2 and level 3, they're recommended if you want. I organize them and I teach them for people that are interested in also becoming professional Feng Shui master, because we address things that might not be directly related into the renovation or a new construction of a building. There are other things like time selection or yin Feng Shui, which is the Feng Shui of memorial sites. So those are my things. There are things that perhaps interior designer, average interior designer, or architects might not be interested in, but they might be interesting for people that really want to become professional Feng Shui consultants. So you can read more of this at our website, which is fengshuitrainingcenter.com. And again, I'm going to leave you the information here below. And for any question, you can read more on our website. fengshuitrainingcenter.com is a good place to go. And also, I'm going to leave you the link for the registration form for beginning 1, course 1, that starts on April 15. So I'm looking forward to see you there, and let me know if you have any questions. And as we progress, the classes are not very big, and we have a direct communication in which, you know, you ask questions as we progress, and there is a space for you to ask questions week by week. We also record the class, so you can play back in the week in between sessions and adjust your notes or review what to make sure that you listen correctly. I encourage you to do so. Anyway, I'm looking forward to see you there. I'm very enthusiastic about every spring when we start a new class, and I'm always very excited about starting a new class. You know, it's the energy of spring, and so I'm looking forward to see you all there. Take care and have a wonderful spring. See you soon.